Now, in Tanzania, hundreds of people are killed each year accused of being witches. Many victims are elderly, vulnerable, or marginalized, or own property that greedy relatives seize after accusing of witchcraft. Here's more on this story.
2 years ago, Sophia Shadrack's mother was killed by a mob in this remote village in northern Tanzania. Her alleged crime? Witchcraft. The incident began and ended with tragedy. A small boy was killed by a hyena. Villagers, terrified and grieving, claimed the animal had been possessed by the sorcery of Sophia's mother and 3 other older women. The next night, the women were murdered, their homes destroyed.
Walianza wakamkata panga, alipoanguka ndio wakaanza kumwekea makuni.
They cut her with machetes. Then they took firewood, mattresses, an iron sheet, and burned her like you would cook fish or meat.
765 killings related to witchcraft were recorded in 2013 alone, an increase from 630 the year before, according to the Legal and Human Rights Center in Tanzania. When tragic and inexplicable things happen, witch doctors, often operating as traditional healers, sought out for their supposed fortune-telling abilities, have been known to point the finger at unsuspecting individuals. Older women, marginalized and vulnerable, are sometimes blamed. The Tanzanian government recently said they would crack down on witch doctors because of their links to the murder of albino people for their body parts. But those who carry out these attacks, and those on women labeled witches, are rarely brought to justice.
If you tell the patients that they have been bewitched by somebody, you just create a conflict between the two. That is when killings can happen.
Behind the suspicion often lies a more sinister motive: greed. A simple accusation of witchcraft can condemn a woman to death, leaving her property and wealth to the accuser.
They think the only way to access that property, be it cows, be it farms, be whatever, is to claim that this lady is a witch, and in so doing, then it justifies for her death.
A month after the death of her parents, Mage Benge survived an attack on her life. Men entered her home after dark, slashed her with machetes, and left her for dead.
In June, I was seriously injured when men cut me with machetes during the night.
After 2 months in hospital, Mage was released with permanent disabilities. She had nowhere to go but back home.